Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. So here at SuperHuman Revolution, we strive to give you information and advice on how to better your life, your relationships, your friendships, everything to become the best version of yourself you can be, or the best superhuman that you can be. We're also going to be talking about current events, whatever's trending right now in the media and in social medias in general, and how that can relate to how we can better ourselves, be the best version of ourselves that we can be. So that interests you, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video.
You gonna make me turn back, way back to the oldest me. Guarantee that you notice me. You don't walk on my soul from sleep. You gonna make me turn back, way back to the oldest me. Guarantee that you notice me.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to SuperHuman Revolution. So, as you can see, I got a nice little haircut going on. Trying some new things, got a new camera, got a new little setup, and doing a different area of the room. So just trying to see how it looks, just kind of experimenting with things. So let me know what you guys think and how it looks. But today, as you see by the title, we're going to talk about more of something that's a trending thing right now is the Jussie Smollet case. If you guys don't know, actor from the show Empire, and I think it was about a month ago or so, in January for sure. He claimed that he was attacked by two individuals, saying that one was white-skinned and that they beat him. They said racial and homophobic slurs, and as well as they lynched him. They put a rope around his neck. And for those that don't know, Jussie Smollet is African American and he is openly gay. And we're not taking any sides here. I'm going to be talking about everything that's going on in the case, and we're talking about why this pertains to how you can, about how it becomes, about becoming the best version of yourself and all that kind of stuff. We're going to correlate that, but I think it's a really important case to talk about because it's very huge right now and there's so much controversy about it, and from the beginning to how it is now. And so, and then also these two people that attacked him were yelling out, "This is MAGA country," like "Make America Great Again," and so they're saying that, so it's very racially and homophobically how would you say, inspired. And so, everybody was like, this is terrible, these people are racist, and there's all this Trump stuff, and all this kind of stuff, and all this big thing, and come to find out, of course, keep in mind that everybody is innocent until proven guilty. That's the way it's supposed to be in this country, is even though it hasn't been for a while. But that's not how everything's being treated. But we're not assuming anything. We're not assuming that he's guilty, but the evidence has been stacked against him right now, and so it's looking that way, but we're not going to say that he is. But what happened, what's been showing up, the evidence, that there was no evidence to actually prove that he was attacked, or the evidence that was shown wasn't matching up to how he put it up, how he set it up on his side of the story. And so what the police, and this happened in Chicago, and he's from Chicago and he supports Chicago to the fullest, but they found out that the two men were hired by him, by this actor Jussie Smollet, and that he hired them to beat him up, that he sent a letter to his was it the NBC studios? I can't remember, but they sent it to his office or something like that, and there was a letter that was targeting him and threatening him. And what these detectives found was that the letter, the way he made it, was the same format that was a letter that was made on a it was like 60 Minutes or something like that, or from a show that came out like a week before or something like that. It was super coincidental that the letter was made like that, like the show was. And so there's that. And so there's a lot of evidence stacking up, and one of the police chiefs said that there's still a lot of evidence to go through. There's still a lot of video recordings that they have to do of surveillance cameras and stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff to go over, and they're not assuming anything. They're trying to maintain that the notion that he is innocent until proven guilty, so not to be saying he's guilty. And so now all these people who said that they were this country's full of racism and saying all these bad things before, and then they find out, well, he's lying. That didn't actually happen, and he's probably did it on purpose so he could get all this attention or whatever it is. And so, with that being said, our point of talking about this case today is that, why is he doing this? And so, of course, we want to take in any counts of racism or bigotry in general, no matter what the reasoning is for, you always want to take that as serious as possible because it's a terrible thing and shouldn't happen to anybody. But on the flip side, why would you ever lie about that happening to you? And he was a pretty big actor on the show Empire. He had 9 episodes for the season upcoming, and now he got cut to 4 episodes. He was supposed to have a singing part on the show, that he was going to be singing on the show, and that got cut as well. So I mean, his career is for sure tarnished, whether he is proven guilty or innocent, regardless of it. And so who knows if it was a publicity stunt? Who knows if he was just trying to get people against Trump related things, because it's the Make America Great Again slogan that he used that the 2 people attacked him said. And so who knows what it is, but there's probably something going on in his life that he felt the need to do that. And so I hope they're looking at it that way, that they're asking, you know, of course they're going to ask why he did it, but psychologically deep down inside, why did he do it? And who knows his reasoning why, but the main point we want to talk about past why did he do it is just to progress the notion, to strengthen the notion that we need to become the best version of ourselves, the superhumans that we can be, that I talk about a lot. And just be honest with people, be honest with yourself, you know. If he was crying for attention, or if he was lonely or whatever it is, I mean, or if you're going through that too, I mean, talk to somebody and don't do something drastic or something related to what he did. I mean, it's not anywhere near the best thing. He probably could have done whatever he's struggling with. If he's struggling with something, he could have done 100 different ways. Recently, this past Sunday, I was at church, and our priest said, he said, baseball isn't our national sport. Neither is football. Because you know what it is? It's jumping to conclusions. And everybody laughs, and I'm like, wow, that's so true, because people do that so much. And he had actually talked about the case, the one I'm talking about. And it's crazy. And he was right. And, you know, he said that gossiping is the worst snake and it has the most venomous poison. And because a lot of people are gossiping, oh man, and people are going both sides, like, oh, these saying, you know, white people are terrible, black people are terrible because they lie about this. And it's like, but everybody's jumping to conclusions and gossiping and judging every one without even knowing anything. And we don't even know if he's guilty or innocent. And it's crazy. So I urge you not to judge, not to gossip. You know, just look at the facts before you do anything. Even when he first said that, you know, this happened to him, just look at the facts. At the initial point in time, look at the facts first. Because we have no idea what's going to play out. And it's already a month into this whole thing, and we found so much out. And everybody who was slandering things against certain ethnicities and races, now they don't say anything. Everyone who was like, oh man, that poor guy and everything, I'm so sorry for him, now they shut up. They're not saying anything now. And people are coming out and saying, man, that Jussie Smollet's this and this and that. Again, without knowing that if he's guilty or not. So again, it just goes back to the notion, don't jump to conclusions, don't gossip, don't judge, because that's the worst thing you can do. And we've all, I think, been victims of, for sure we've all been victims of being judged. Some more so than others, of course. But then gossiping as well, I'm sure everybody has gossiped at least once. And we've all been gossiped about, whether we know it or not. And it's a horrible feeling if you do know that you've been gossiped about, or you've been judged, or you've been told to your face, whatever it is. And so I think it's just goes back to the golden rule, you know, do unto others what you want done unto yourself. I mean, you know, just how would you want to be treated? You want to be treated like that? Well, don't treat that person that way. You know, treat others how you want to be treated. And it's hard to think that way.
Music licensing,
you know, because, you know, revenge is easy. You know, it's easy for us to be mad. It's hard to be kind and to be loving to our enemies and our friends. And sometimes it's hard to be loving to our friends because they can get on our nerves more than our enemies do. Right? So just keep that in mind with the next coming weeks and months, because I'm sure this case is going to get more unraveled and more evidence is going to be brought upon, and we'll see if he's guilty or innocent. And so just, you know, leave whatever predispositions, is that the word? I think so. Without any bias. Let's substitute that other word. Without any bias, because we all have our own biases, whether it's, you know, religions or races or ethnicities or whatever. We all have our biases that we favor this over the other, or we have our stereotypes as well, and we think that specific group does this, or that specific group does this. So let's look at it without any bias or stereotypes and say, okay, these are the facts. What does this mean so far? Okay, to me, without having any bias, what I've been reading on the news, and I look at different news sources. I don't look at just one, because all of them have their own bias. CNN, Fox News, NBC, they all have different biases. But I look at all of them and I say, okay, let me get a look at a summary of all of these. So, okay, these specific facts, they're pretty much the same. I might have all of this as facts, but this group of facts are the ones that are uniform through across the different news medias, whether on TV news or on Twitter or whatever it is. So it looks like the odds are stacked against Jussie, and he looks guilty. I'm not saying he is, but that's what it looks like. Okay, so just look at that, take the facts as a whole, and just see what your stance on it. Don't be too quick to judge. Don't be too quick to gossip. Alright guys, so I hope you guys learned something, and it's a lot, and it's very touchy subject right now because everyone stands on a specific point on the fence, and so we're all trying not to be offensive or trying to be politically correct, but just about learning, and just, you know, like I said, just don't judge, don't gossip, and just take it just one piece at a time, one step at a time. Alright guys, so I hope you guys learned something. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please hit that subscribe button, please share with your friends, and I hope to see you guys on the next video. See ya.